If you liquor the story, please like and subscribe. Once there was a man who seemed like the most insignificant person in the entire group. At the lowest rank, he was often ignored, looked down upon, and mocked by his peers. Every time he walked through the corridors, people would snicker, whispering behind his back. He had no special talents that stood out, and no one thought he'd ever make anything of himself. Every day felt like a struggle to even be noticed, but he kept moving forward, carrying the weight of his unnoticed existence. Every day was a constant reminder of how weak he was in the eyes of others. The strong, capable people would laugh at him, calling him names, or ignoring him entirely. They believed he wasn't even worth the time to challenge. His spirit was tested every single day, but he never fought back. Instead, he would quietly retreat into himself, avoiding conflict, trying his best to stay out of the spotlight. His failures were public, but his efforts were hidden, unnoticed by all. In moments of silence, when no one was watching, he would question himself. Was he really this weak? Why couldn't he show anyone what he was truly capable of? The doubt gnawed at him, but deep down he knew there was something inside him waiting to break free. He wasn't like the others, and he knew it, but the question was, how could he show them? He didn't know yet, but he had a feeling that someday, somehow, he would find a way to reveal the hidden strength inside him. Despite all the ridicule and self-doubt, he never gave up. His struggles were his alone, hidden from the eyes of the world. While others took breaks, he pushed forward. While others flaunted their skills, he practiced in the shadows. Every failure was a lesson. Every insult fueled his desire to improve. He knew his time would come, but for now, he had to stay patient. His true strength remained locked inside, a secret to all except himself. No matter where he went, the whispers followed him. His peers couldn't hide their laughter, their mocking voices echoing in his ears. They called him weak, worthless, and incapable of even the smallest tasks. Every time he tried to stand tall, they knocked him down with cruel words and harsh jokes. "You'll never make it," they would say. "Just quit while you're ahead." Their voices echoed in his mind, adding weight to the burden he already carried. It was as if they believed he was destined to fail, that he would never be able to do anything meaningful. Each mockery cut deeper than the last, and he began to wonder if they were right. Was he really weak? Was he truly as useless as they said? Every time they laughed at him, a small part of his confidence broke away. It became harder and harder to believe in himself. But even as the doubt swirled inside him, he didn't give up. He continued to push forward, step by step, even though his heart wasn't always in it. Despite the ridicule, something inside him refused to stay down. He kept moving, not because he believed in himself just yet, but because he couldn't let them win. As he walked through the halls, memories would flood back. The teachers who said he would never be anything more than ordinary. The classmates who laughed when he failed. The friends who turned away when he asked for help. All these moments, all these doubts planted deep inside him, growing like thorns in his mind. But these flashbacks, though painful, only fueled his drive. He couldn't erase the past, but he could change the future. Every time they laughed at him, every time they said he couldn't do it, he felt the fire inside him grow stronger. Though no one saw it, the struggle inside him was real. Every day was a fight against himself, a battle to keep going. He wasn't just fighting the mockery of others, he was fighting the doubts that had taken root in his own mind. Yet, even in his weakest moments, he knew that giving up wasn't an option. The more they doubted him, the harder he pushed. And though no one could see it, his determination was growing, one silent step at a time. Despite the constant mockery, there was something different about him, something no one could see. Deep down, hidden behind the layers of doubt and ridicule, lay a skill that no one knew about, not even his closest friends. It wasn't something he flaunted or talked about. In fact, he kept it a secret, knowing that revealing it too soon would only make him a target for more mockery. But there were moments, small moments, when his true potential would show. The way he moved, the focus in his eyes, the quiet confidence when no one was watching. It was all there, waiting for the right time. When the world wasn't looking, that was when he trained. Alone in the quiet hours, away from the prying eyes and the cruel laughter, he pushed himself beyond limits no one knew existed. No one saw the long nights spent practicing, the hours of silent effort where sweat and determination were his only companions. He worked hard, his movements sharp and deliberate, fine-tuning the skill that would one day change everything. Every moment of struggle, every failure only made him better. He knew that one day, when the time was right, he would reveal what he was truly capable of. But for now, he waited. He knew that patience was key. His skill wasn't something that could be shown off just for the sake of showing it. It had to be earned. He needed to be ready. No one could see the quiet preparation happening inside him, the quiet fire that was growing stronger with each passing day. He wasn't foolish enough to reveal his hand too early. The world wasn't ready to see his true power, and so he kept it locked away, biding his time. The day would come when he would step into the light, and on that day, no one would be able to deny what he had become. As the days passed, the mockery continued, but he no longer let it bother him as much. He wasn't the same person who had listened to every word of criticism. He had learned to block it out, to focus solely on what lay ahead. The quiet moments of training, the unspoken promise to himself, were his only focus. Deep down, he knew the storm was coming. The day when his hidden potential would finally break free, and when that moment arrived, everything would change. Every day felt like a battle, not just with others, but with himself. The world around him seemed to place one obstacle after another in his path, but he never let that stop him. No matter how hard things got, he always pushed forward. The mockery, the doubts, the low rank, it didn't matter anymore. Each challenge, each setback only fueled his quiet determination. He knew the road ahead wasn't easy, but that never scared him. He was used to being underestimated. Now, it only made him more determined to prove everyone wrong when the time came. While others saw only his struggles, he saw something different. Every setback was an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger. And so he kept going, step by step, without needing praise or recognition. No one knew the small victories he celebrated in silence, the quiet growth that took place when no one was watching. He didn't need their approval. What mattered to him was the progress he made, no matter how small. Each day he was getting closer to becoming the person he was meant to be, and that kept him moving forward. The distractions, the insults, the challenges, they were all just noise. He had learned to tune them out. His focus was clear, unwavering, and always centered on one thing: growth. He wasn't worried about the people around him or the ranking that others seemed so obsessed with. What mattered was what he could do, what he could become. He didn't need to show his worth to anyone yet. All that mattered was staying true to his path, continuing his silent journey of improvement. In a world where people constantly tried to pull him down, he remained unfazed. He knew that all he had to do was be patient.